Welcome back, Agent. Before we get into what today's briefing will be about, I'd like to take this time to apologize for my lack of presence lately. I've been preoccupied with a mad overlord trying to use time travel to take over his world, a multi-dimensional tournament that brought some of the universe's most well-known figures for an out-and-out brawl, and having to deal with a witch that uses her hair as part of her magic. This is on top of all my normal duties I've got as part of the Alliance, as well as the holidays that have happened. To simply put, I've been swamped. But with the new year brings new beginnings, Agent, and I'm gonna do my best to try and bring you more regular briefings to help you out so long as you're a part of the Alliance. I'll do my best to make this a weekly event, but I do have other obligations and work to do myself, and these things do take some time to work on. With all that said, there has been a slight change to the original idea I had for these briefings. As you may recall, I mentioned before that I was planning on going over all the heroes that had joined the Alliance, their abilities and skills, so that you would not only be able to know what they were capable of, but also be able to better utilize them in battle. This would also allow you to use your command points more wisely when it came to recruiting a new member. It was about halfway working on Storm's briefing when I realized, however, that I'd be explaining the effects of every hero skill every single time I went in depth about their abilities. And seeing as there are a great many heroes with similar effects on their attacks, I would eventually be repeating myself over and over a great deal more than I had originally anticipated. So instead, what I'm going to be doing is a series of short briefings that will go over the most common of these effects that are found among a lot of heroes' abilities. These will allow me not only to cut down on the amount of information I'm getting to give you about the heroes themselves, but allow me to further focus on what they uniquely bring to the table. As such, what we'll be discussing today are a group of buffs and debuffs that affect the statistics of the subjects in battle. Though many heroes and villains can gain these status changes by themselves, collectively they are known as the Finest Hour buffs and the Paragon Exploiter debuffs. The reason they are called as such because several attacks have the effect of Finest Hour, which grows stronger the more the user has those particular bonuses, where a Paragon Exploiter attack draws power with the more negatives on the foe. The Finest Hour status changes are as follows, with all these changes granting an increase of 25% to the user's normal power. Strengthen enhances attack power, and Fortify does the same for defense. Agile will do the same for evasion, and finally Focused for accuracy. There's also another effect known as Rising Up. This ability has a chance of giving the user or even the entire team all 4 of the Finest Hour enhancements. The counterpoint to these benefits are the Paragon Exploiter debuffs. Hopefully you'll be the one applying these to your enemy's agent instead of them to you. Regardless, you make sure you are familiar with them, as they have the ability to weaken all of your statistics by 25% should they affect you. Weakened will reduce in your attack power, while being exposed will take a chunk out of your defense. Dizzy will hurt your accuracy, and slow will ruin any chance of evading your enemy attacks. You'll also want to be aware of pressure points, which works like a reverse version of Rising Up, capable of applying all of the Paragon Exploiter debuffs. Now those sharp-eyed of you might notice the Paragon Exploiter effect has 2 additional debuffs that it gains power from, Combo Setup and Stun. I wanted to talk about them separately since they're a bit more in-depth than the rest of the effects are. Combo Setup is an effect that, when placed, will make all unarmed attacks made against that target do 30% increased damage. If you remember from my previous guide agents, all abilities have a type to go with them, so this is where you would look to see if an ability is unarmed or not. Not only that, some attacks can exploit combos for even more damage or even get special effects when the enemy is set up. It's something that you'll have to be able to predict and be wary of. Stun, while obvious in its effect of causing you to lose a turn, is actually a little bit more deceiving than you'd think. This is because while there is only one end result for stun, there are a great many deal abilities that can cause it. The most common one to see will be incapacitation. This will affect its target for a few rounds, with each round giving a chance for a stun to happen. Currently, it's believed to be about 50%. While the target is underneath this debuff though, they are treated as stun for the purposes of attacks and abilities, which makes it a lot easier to use attacks that exploit stun for that extra damage. Nearly all the rest of the effects are specific to hero or villain, so we'll go over those when we start reviewing the heroes in particular. There is one effect, though, that has the ability to act as stun as well, but we'll go over that next time when we go over the attrition effects. Until then, Agent, dismissed!